Welcome back everyone, Ronan here. This is part 7 of my first playthrough for XCOM 2. These are the highlights of the stream. This is though the post mess up where I overwrote my initial stream file. So this is the game I was playing off stream, but we're about the same location. Surprisingly, in a week I almost finished 2 games, but it helped me learn tremendously. So we're going to be starting probably tomorrow with the equivalent to Classic. I think it's Legend here, or Commander. I'm not sure. I'll look it up after. And then we're going to start doing some Ironman. And this is where, when we start doing Ironman, some of you will die. I'm sorry. But on that, if anybody else wants a character in the run and see how many people we get slaughtered on our first Ironman run in about a week's time, maybe 2 weeks, let me know. I'll put you in, give me your avatar, a color, and maybe a class that we can try to accommodate. We're probably going to need a lot of soldiers on our first Iron Man run. Alright, here we go. Alright, to start off, I wanted to show how powerful some of these experimental weapons are. This one is the Shred Storm Cannon. Now, you don't see the whole spectrum here, but basically it shreds, I think, 4 to 5 armor off the enemy, and it hits AoE. And it is powerful. It leveled pretty much any sign of cover in the way. And it actually killed both Mutons. You can see the bodies there and the rifles on the floor. So all that's left is this Andromeda with no armor. That's it. Like, you basically just had to kill the Andromeda twice now, but it has no armor. It's super easy to do now. So try to research those. I'm going to try to get 2 of those. They are amazing. They're extremely powerful. Now on this pull, because there was 2 there, but I knew what I was doing with the Shred Storm launcher. So I also have my Psionic Soldier, and they are amazing. If you're a double up on any class, it would be a Psionic Soldier. Now I have this one that's behind full cover, and I can't really do much to it. But with my Psionic Soldier, I'm not in a great spot for him, so I end up moving him. But Domination, you get 100% chance to mind control this, what we're gonna call Andromeda, but really it's Big Daddy. So you're gonna have this Big Daddy with you, and they are meat shield. Oh my god, like, they are probably my favorite ones to mind control because they're so easy to get. You could also argue that maybe a shield bearer, they're also easy to get, and if you can bring them close to your group, you can give everybody a shield, which is also awesome. It allows you to maybe not go into cover if you're okay with taking light wounds, and then you just basically rush the enemy. Just try to go for flanks. Pretty amazing too. But with the Big Daddy or Andromeda, you can actually just use them as a meat shield and keep going forward. I use them a lot now because it makes them so much easier to deal with. Okay, so here I was debating my actions. I wasn't too sure what I wanted to do to maximize my chance of survival and not get hit. Really, it's not getting hit at this point, because I can take a shot or 2 on a soldier and be okay. But I don't typically bring medics. It's probably something I'm gonna have to change. So I'm looking at my damage potential. And what I really like about the snipers in this game is the gunslinger tree. I am more in favor of the gunslinger tree than the sniper tree. Now, it may change in higher difficulties because of potential kiting, but we'll see when we play it. We'll play around with that. So here you can see I'm going to do a crap load of damage with that one ability, and here it shows that its life bar is going to go entirely away. But I'm having a hard time with this because it says 8 to 11, and I think it has 12 health. So I'm not really sure what to take, like, to make of that actually, and I'm just sitting there debating. So I go for it with the lightning hands, which means I can shoot again after if I need to. It's a 100% chance to hit, so I said why not, and I go for the shot any second now. Powers of editing. So it makes me wonder, and I'll have to do more research into this, if the crits are actually predetermined in your selection. Because as you see now, I did 12 damage, and the Codex had... Sorry for the cutoff, I hit spacebar. The Codex had 12 health. So it's like the game knew I was gonna potentially kill it in one shot. So I have to do some research in this because I've had some instances where the damage does not reflect the bar and it caused issues. So once I find out more, I will let you guys know. Okay, so this part may be a little obscure to you guys, but what ends up happening here is I guess I pushed that Andromeda armor, or no, he still has his body inside. He actually runs away a double run. Now the problem with that is he's running towards the transmitter, and I'm having a hard enough time to keep it down because of these guys that like started the fight right next to it and are already shooting at it. The other problem is I have to run to him, and I can't catch up. So this leads to this EMP, and I really hate, and I think it's a oversight on the developers. If you stun, let's say a sectopod, like I'm doing right now, you can clearly see it got stunned. I think I have to go back and check it, but yes, it did get stunned. Take my word for it. Yeah, you see it right at the end before I cut the video. Now it's its turn. I cut out all the waiting. On his turn, he should be stunned right now. But he's not. He's actually gonna shoot at my squatty, which is me right there. And I thought I was gonna die, but I only moved there because I knew he was stunned for at least one turn. What one turn apparently means to the developers, or the game code, is your turn. As soon as you end your turn, it is no longer stunned. So to get an effective stun, you have to see stun and a number 2 next to it, which means 2 turns. And which I think is ridiculous because that will mean 2 of your turns, including the one you're playing right now. That is not acceptable to me because then you plan your strategies around, oh yeah, yay, I stunned it, now I'm okay for 1 turn. No, you're not okay because that stun is useless. All that stun is doing is preventing it from Overwatch, I guess, or whatever abilities it could be doing. Maybe a Muton can't counterattack you for your turn, which I think is not acceptable. So if I were to create a mod, the mod would actually change those stun for 1 turn to make it to 2 turns, and those 2 turns to make it to 3 turns, which in turn will make it the respective amount of turns that it should be stunned. That's just my opinion on this. Let me know what you think, because I think that's ridiculous. That it's mathematically doesn't make sense, or turn-based strategy-wise doesn't make sense to stun something for 1 turn and it counts for nothing. Can't believe I just said fart instead of part. So I guess old farts. Here in the Scilab, this one's for Zane, by the way. Zane was a ginger, which kind of worked out with a psionic soldier. They have crazy soul powers. But once you turn somebody into a psi-op, which is kind of fitting because there's Grandpa right there training them, they in turn lose their hair color. They turn into old men. So Zane, if you're looking for yourself on the battlefield from now on, you have white hair for this playthrough, because you're now an old, wise psionic soldier. I guess it's the same way of looking as you're a wizard or a mage. Alright, for those of you that do watch my highlights, you're gonna see this quite a bit, and it's not new for you. It's called the Mimic Beacon Protocol. If you don't know what to do, you don't see the enemy, but you know they're coming to attack you, you have some people in the open, this is your lifeline. If you're not using this already, and this is the first time you see this, use Mimic Beacon. I can't stress that enough. It is amazing. You'll see right here, they're moving in. I didn't really know what they were going to do, but he's actually just going to stay there after he survives the Overwatches. Overwatches, I don't use it as much because it misses way too often. The aim is a lot lower in this version than it is in the previous version, but that could also go with grinding items to improve your aim. There's an item I found, a chip. See? He's just going for the Mimic Beacon. There's a chip I found that you can put in that actually increased by like 25 aim. That is huge. 25% chance to hit all the time. Amazing. Put that on a sniper, he'll never miss. Put it on a heavy. Now you have a heavy cannon that actually will hit stuff instead of at max level having 75% chance to hit. There you go. So both of them went for that. And my main concern here was the Lancer. The Lancers can move incredible distances and actually stun and put your soldiers unconscious in 1 turn. They are pretty deadly. So be careful with those guys, because they can cover a lot farther than what you can see. and they're very dangerous. So mimic beacon protocol, remember that. And then you can slice them.
That's right. Affirmative, covering now.
This leads to the crystallids. Now, this is my first really big look into the crystallids. This is the first time I actually see them burrow. I'm not sure if I was supposed to encounter the crystallids much before this. I may have seen them once or twice before. Maybe higher difficulties they'll be there. So I did some playing around with them. You can actually mind control them this time. I'm pretty sure in the first one you could not mind control a crystallid. They were immune to those things. So I'm not sure if they've evolved or de-evolved. They'd have to evolve to have a brain, I'm assuming. So, they take damage from all psionic abilities now, which is pretty cool. Psionic abilities will just not affect robotics. So anything that is biological, like something that is living, will be affected to it. It doesn't necessarily have to have a brain. Now, Rift is pretty amazing because you'll hit multiple times. I don't know how it works. I can't justify it right now. I did the AoE attack, and then he started attacking 2 other ones. So, I don't know why he didn't attack the 3rd one. But still, it can actually mind control enemies and cause panic with that. It's insane. So, my recommendation here, you see there's one burrowed. I was just testing it out. I can actually hit it with 100% because it's burrowed and I have increased height on it. If they're on the main level, then it's 75, so they lose that bonus. You get that height bonus if you burrow them. But it's friendly, so... Now how it works is if you move forward, it's like an Overwatch, a melee Overwatch. And I think it shows right here with my scout. I'm like, well, I don't know where they are, so I'm going to move up. I'm concealed, not a big deal. And now if you think about it, it makes sense. You just don't see where they are, so you don't see the red notices. So I move up, and then he noticed me out of concealment, and then gets his Overwatch, which makes him a lot harder and more deadly this time. Now that actually lets my soldier live at the end of this map, at the very end. Now you see the one I had burrowed in Overwatch.
I'm not sure
now there's gonna be a cut.
Expecting to find out here, but this.
The same rift the Codex used when it appeared. This thing could
So the one I had in Overwatch or burrowed is actually going for the one that just hit my soldier. So it kind of it could cause a chain reaction, I would say, but it's pretty interesting that they actually have an Overwatch now, because before you could just kite them. It wasn't a big deal. I'm not sure what other countermeasures you would have. I know that the hacker can do scan protocol. You could bring a scanning beacon or battle scanner to spot them out. If not, mind control something, send it forward. That is the other option, because then they will get hit by them and then the crystallid is exposed. Also, the only class that I've noticed that you can't melee with a sword is the Muton so far. Maybe the Berserker also. I haven't tried to slash a Berserker. So here I was just trying to cover a lot of ground. He was kind of over by himself. But at the same time, I didn't want to get too close to the orb, because I was probably going to use explosives to shred down his armor. So I figured this would probably kill it. I mean, it's not a full health crystallid. And right here, nope, didn't kill it. But the fire would probably kill it next turn. I just wasn't okay with that. I figured I could do more. So I invoked like a combo. So I used my psionic soldier and give inspire. So it gave another turn, much like command in the Long War. So it gave another turn to my ranger so he could move out of the way. And at the same time, the reason I was doing this is because the ranger has a perk that when he kills something on the next turn, the next attack will miss. So it doesn't really matter. If the orb is to target him, he wouldn't die. And then if the orb was to target anybody else, odds are they wouldn't die. I was just trying to save somebody's life. And this is what I end up doing here. So now he's inspired. He gets another move. He's already in melee range. Plus with the sword, I think he could move and attack, which is kind of nice now. It's almost like a run and gun every time. So he slashes, kills it, gets the buff.
That's how it's
pretty
done.
sure. There we go. So he gets to move, and he's immune to one attack. So I just put him off to the side, and he's gonna be safe for another turn.
Sure thing.
So from earlier, when my soldier got hit while he was concealed, he got poisoned by the crystal. Now I'm not sure how long the poison lasts. It lasts a long time.
What's over there?
I was just pushing to get to the last one. I knew he was in this corner, and I was pretty sure he's alone. So I was trying to kill him. The problem is, because of the poison, my ranger was down to, I think, 2 health. So if it went for that ranger, he was dead. Because I don't think they miss. I have not seen chrysalids miss, really. Which is probably the appeal, since they can only melee. So there, I still took 2 damage. I'm getting really low on health. 2 of my guys are still poisoned, which they've been poisoned for a long time now. So I have to end this, or I potentially lose 2 soldiers. So I've relied on Overwatch, which you can see is not reliable, and I was getting worried, and I'm still worried looking at this. My saving grace was Crater Souls. Thanks, Crater. This is where you probably missed in the stream and you asked about it. You saved somebody's life. If it wasn't for you, my ranger was dead. For this last part, I'm going to showcase, well, showing the psionic ability and the sheer strength of Psionic Soldier. This is one of the last maps. I will actually upload the whole fight after this. I'm done with this, and I won't really edit it. I'll just upload it as part of the stream. And then there we go. I do Rift. All 3 of them are there. One of them is mine, but I was okay killing it because I figured I was near the end anyway. So there wasn't really much else for me to do. So I do Rift. It damages everybody. Then it does an extra attack, and it panics that Archon. That Archon, in turn, does a move, does an attack, crits and kills. I thought it was mine. No, he killed the enemy Andromeda. So basically, with that one rift, I took out the entire leftover enemy force, really, because I still have mind control on the one with like 1 or 2 health, so I can deal with that. Yeah, 1 health. So I can deal with it on the next turn if I want to, because the domination is permanent. Once you have it, you don't lose it unless probably you get flashbanged.
Heading out.
And there we go. Now we just have 1 Archon to deal with, and good to go. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next highlight video. Have a great night, everyone.
Target neutralized.